This is like Pete Sampras at the U.S. Open, Michael Jordan in Utah. I've got the sniffles. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. What's it, Wednesday? We got some Wednesday basketball edition coming at you, going over last night's slate, all the fun stuff. Who do we got here this morning? Bandy just like arrived right on time. We got Sneeps is here, Brent's here, We the People, Borland, Eaglebutt, Fen, Badabine, Jordan's here, Luis. Yes, geez, another beautiful day in the crypto world. To the house, Snoopaloop, Top Shot Kingdom, fire that laser, baby. Stubbs, Blazemore, Federico, Veronica's here. Everybody's here, gang. Thanks for being here this morning. Like the stream, subscribe. Real quick, shout out to G Dunn yesterday. Oh, I'm sitting on a little something here. We get a little sweatshirt. Shout out to G Dunn yesterday for currently for carrying the torch after I deteriorated before your eyes yesterday morning. The second that was done, I went and laid down for a few hours and canceled everything that I had to do that day. So shout out G Dunn and congrats. I don't even remember who. I know he texted it to me, but we haven't heard from who won the pack yet. So if you won that candy pack yesterday, hit us up so we can make sure we get that to you. We got a fun one this morning. Just going to go over last night's action. Take a look. I'm going to tell you about my DraftKings tilt. I had one of the most infuriating DraftKings sweats last night. It was just like real garbage, real terrible stuff. But excited to talk about that. And we'll look at some So Rare because my So Rare is maybe making me feel a little bit better. But hey, just a reminder too. So today I'm going to try to fire out a So Rare video later today. But there's no live streams happening on Team Hold tonight or tomorrow. So I'm going to be heading back to Massachusetts. I should be back late Thursday night. So then Friday we'll go out there and fire it up. Hold on. Veronica says, why do you think I get a notification on my phone when Ja does the too small? I've seen multiple players do that this year. Veronica, it's a great point. I think one, because it happened on TNT, and two, because it did it to an actual small person. I think that was rude. And I tweeted this out last night. I actually think it was bullying. I think you can do too small. Like when Kevin Durant did it to Evan Fournier, it's like, whatever, dude. Evan Fournier is still like over 6 feet tall. You did it to an actual short person. I think that's rude. I think that's actually bullying. Like it's okay to do it if they were like similar, if you were similarly sized, right? If it was someone of Ja's stature and you went up and over him, he's like, yeah, dude, you're too small. But he literally did it over someone that's too small. And I'm not going to say that's the turning point, but then small people got upset and the Pelicans came back and won that game. Andre saying everyone who played Jokic on So Rare not winning anything. Any Nuggets, truly. Although actually Jamal Murray's looking like kind of a good play. Jose did it to him. All right, Alvarado did it to him. There we go. All right, so then it's fine. Still bullying, though. Still bullying. Listen, I'm going to rally behind the short guy 10 out of 10. It's only cool when the short people do it. When the tall people do it, it's like, yeah, dude, congratulations. You're fucking tall. You know? I don't know. That's my thought. I think, what we should start doing? If a tall person misses a three, we start saying, too tall. Right? Jonas Valanciunas takes one of his weird slow motion 3-pointers. It's going to be one of the slowest releases I've ever seen in the history of basketball. Just go too tall, dude. Too tall. If you were a little bit smaller, that would have been easy money. All right, let's get into some of this stuff. But yeah, anyways, just a reminder, no content after today, or today and tomorrow will be off. And then Friday we'll be back. I should be back with the morning show, depending on traffic and everything and how tomorrow goes. But the morning show should be back on Friday. We'll have a football show on Friday, even though NFL All Day announced no playbook again this week, but they are doing a pack drop, the midseason pack drop. So we'll be back with the Friday show for football. And then, of course, live before lock. And then the World Cup's what's the World Cup like a few days away, right? It's almost World Cup time. Excited about that. Alrighty then, let's get into the hoopy hoops. We had some fun ones. We did. We had some fun ones last night. I'm excited to talk about it. Let's start with that game. Let's start with the two small games. So Ja is like going bonkers, right? Ja's going bonkers. I make the thumbnail because I knew I was going to take some NyQuil and call it a night. And I was like, dude, there's no way Ja's not the story. We could have made like 55 different thumbnails from last night, but Ja did have like a monster game. He had 36, 8, and 4. There was a weird conversation. Afterwards that like Ja doesn't make the players on his team better. This was with the TNT booth. I just think that's so crazy to make that statement when it's Jaren Jackson Jr.'s first game back and Desmond Bane wasn't playing. Like, I don't know. Desmond Bane's been pretty damn good with Ja. The Grizzlies have been a pretty good team, and they just lost last night. Like, I know, I just thought that was such a weird talking point. And I know he's like a high usage guy, but why do they have the same conversation around Luca too? Like, or who's another high usage guy this year? Like Giannis? I guess Giannis doesn't have the same type of usage, but I just thought that was so weird. Unless that's been a conversation that's been happening for a while now. I don't think I've ever heard that take, and I was really surprised by it because I don't think what Ja was doing was making his teammates worse. I mean, if anything, every time Dylan Brooks touched the ball, it said something wild. People said they said the same thing about Iverson back in the day. I think it's true, but only to an extent, dude. But like, okay, Andre, how can you make that okay, like the Giannis, I agree the Giannis conversation. Luca has the ball 98% of the time. Like no one else is getting shots up besides Luca. And I love Luca. I just don't understand how we have this conversation for Ja and not for Luca. And I also like you need to explain this. I think it's true, but only to an extent. Like, what does that mean? Like it's true, but not really? Maybe based off last year, Memphis looked decent when he was injured. I guess. But like they also looked really good when he was healthy. I think that's such a weird take. Yeah, I get it. They did look good. If yeah, I get it. I think that's such a weird take. Do you think in the playoffs they have a better shot without Ja than they do with Ja? I don't know. I don't know. I think that's a bad take. Do you see what Ja does to Brandon Clark? What do you think Brandon Clark's stat line is if he's on the Wizards? If Monty Morris is the one feeding him, what do you think Brandon Clark's stat line is? You think he's catching a lot of oops from Monte? I don't know, man. Brandon Clark last night, what was his stats? He had 15 and 13 off the bench. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not hearing it. You think Desmond Bane's as effective without Ja? Desmond Bane's shooting like 80% from three. Why do you think that is? Because he's getting wide open looks because they're trying to stay in front of Ja. Anyways, all right. Jaren Jackson Jr. was back last night. He played 25 minutes. That was exciting to see. I was nervous that we were gonna get like 8 minutes of him. And Jaren Jackson Jr. comes back, right? He's like 7 points, 6 rebounds. His shot looked rusty as hell. And then Triple J is like, hey, do you guys remember I get like 5 blocks a game? And he just went out there and got 5 blocks. It's just fun having Triple J back. He also there was a really nice one, I think, at the end of the first half where it seemed like he blocked it with his elbow. I don't know if it was Alvarado going up or maybe it was Najee Marshall, but really just like came down on top of it. It was great. On the Pelicans side of things, though, we should be talking more about them because they balled. So Zion got ruled out before. I think they're like being super cautious with Zion, right? They're like, hey, we're not going to, if he's got a toenail infraction, they're going to, infraction? Like the toenail made a mistake and they're like 5 yards on the toenail. If he had whatever, like a hangnail, I think is the direction I was trying to go. They're probably going to be like, let's give him a couple days off so we still have him. But he sat and CJ just cooked. CJ had 30 and 9. And then Larry Nance was some 19 and 7. Larry Nance was some thunder dunks last night. He had one that was clearly an offensive foul where he used his offhand to just kind of like clear the way. But because he raised his right arm up so high, I think everyone was like, holy shit, look at that, while he's down here just clearing out and slamming it down. There was a bunch of monster dunks in this game. Lance had a bunch. He had that one. He had one that he came up on a reverse, had a bunch of putbacks. Ja had that one too. Ja had a couple of incredible plays where he came up with his right and then switched midair to the left hand and threw it down. I think I saw Trey Trey Kirby tweeting out some Kendall Gill, some Kendall Gill love, which what a throwback. He was my favorite player for a hot minute. Let me get another Ember sipping. But pretty good win for the Pelicans. I hope we get a playoff series of them. They seem like there was a lot of energy back and forth. Also, we saw CJ McCollum get a technical. When's that ever happen? I don't ever remember CJ getting texts, but that was a good game. I was excited that one was on national TV. I was pretty bummed out. I was pretty bummed when they ruled Zion out because I was excited to watch that, and I was like, oh man! But it was a great game. It was also funny too. I feel like it was 60-59 or something crazy like that at halftime, and I was like, here we go, massive high scoring game, and then it really slowed down there in the second half. Right, it really slowed down in the fourth quarter. Grizzlies stopped hitting shots and finished 113-102. Anyways, next game up, which ended up being the most popular game for fantasy basketball, which let me tell you, if the Knicks and Jazz are ever the chalk for DFS, you just fade that. You fade that every time. Neither of those teams are fun. All right, To The House just comes off the top rope, just saying the MJ switch hand layup is the most overrated play in NBA history. Just saying. I think what made it impressive was how long he was up in the air, right? That he was up there long enough that he could go all the way up and then come back all the way down on the other side. The one thing I will say To The House, I feel like I've been able to do that in my driveway. And so like, if to your credit, if you think you can complete it in a driveway, then maybe that was overrated. We don't impressive, but unnecessary. I mean, I love it. I love these takes. This is good. We only had 7 games to talk about. So we started the show with saying like Ja Morant actually makes his teammates worse. And then we're like, Michael Jordan, overrated. All right, let's keep going. Mavs Clippers. Oh no, Knicks Jazz. This is how bad I didn't want to talk about the Knicks and Jazz. 118-111. Jalen Brunson at 25-8. Kelly Olynyk, baby, 27-11. Big KO game. Let's give a little regular season Randall drop though. Let's get a drop for the vibes, since the Knicks got a dub.
Regular season Randall.
Pretty sure the Jazz have dropped 3 in a row now, down to 10-6. Still way more wins than the Lakers, but that's all. I didn't watch a lick of this game. I wasn't interested. I was flipping around on my league pass as I had like the TNT games up, and I forgot I'm like in New York, so I can only watch it on the MSG channel. I was like, I'm not in. No, thank you. Andre says the Jazz first L at home, but yeah, whatever. Good win for the Knicks. Congrats. Happy for you. Too long to read. Mavs Clippers. This was a fun one. I thought this was going to go to overtime. Got a little scary there. Mavs won 103-101. They were up like 20. Clippers came storming back, took the lead. And then Luka went out there and was just like, no. Stan says Sabonis playing like an all-star again. Fox playing his best, but don't tell Hallie fans that. You're right, Stan. Halliburton's been terrible this year. Anyways, let's keep going. Luka had 35, 11, and 5. Dorian Finney-Smith finally cracked 20 points this year. He had 21. Nicholas Batum with 22 and 5 off the bench. And then Paul George with 23, 7, 6. And as Andre said, 10 turnovers. Yikes. Good win for the Clips. That was an entertaining one. It was fun to go back and watch. All right, 2 games left. Oh, man, this is going to be the fastest morning show ever because it's not like too much to talk about today. Rip City, Blazers got a W over the Spurs. Greg Popovich was put his like weird stuff away and let his starters actually play minutes. Jakob Poeltl, dude. Jakob Poeltl with 31 and 14, career high in points. Keldon Johnson had 25 and 5. Devin Vassell had, what did he have? 21. Jeremy Grant had 29 and 8. Jeremy Grant continues to absolutely cook. Wait, Chicken Frig says Luka will be cooked by All-Star if they don't give him a point guard. Yeah, I think Spencer Dinwiddie's just going to start taking over a little bit more. I actually am surprised they haven't. They're playing a lot of their minutes together. But anyway, sorry. Anthony Simons at 23, Dame 22 and 11. And yes, the Blazers, I believe, are on top of the West. We'll check that out in a little bit. That was a fun one, man. Jeremy Grant is balling. Jeremy Grant is absolutely balling. I feel like he's averaging like upper 20s right now. And especially the last like 5 or 6 games, he's been great. And then the last game of the night, this was absolute trash. Kings won 153-121, and it's not trash because the Kings won. I'll show you in a second. But we had Kevin Huerter had, what did Kevin Herter have? 19. Sabonis had 17 and 7. There's your all-star stats, Stan. Terrence Davis, holy shit. Terrence Davis, 31, 9 and 4. This was this crazy thing that happened down in it was like midway through the second quarter. I think the game was 40-40. It was 40-40. And then the Kings went on, I think, an 18-0 run, ended up being like a 30-3 run or something crazy like that. And Terrence Davis was part of that. Terrence Davis scored like 15 points in the second quarter. KD had 27 and 6. And then Mid Sumner. That's a stupid joke. He had 18. Hey, listen, one thing for Nets fans, if you want to feel a little bit better, for those of you that watch, maybe you'll disagree, but I actually thought Ben Simmons looked a little bit better last night. He came in and was like super aggressive right away. I mean, he only had like 11, 5 and 3, which I believe 11 is a season high so far. But I actually thought Ben Simmons looked pretty good. The Nets themselves look terrible. It was just so clear to me, like when you were watching that game, they have nobody that can fucking dribble, right? They have nobody on their team that can dribble. It was like during that run, it was like Royce O'Neal was bringing the ball up, and then Joe Harris. It looked like a bunch of Jaylen Browns out there. But yeah, it was good. Yeah, told you the Kings would make them look good. You did say that, but I thought you made it sound like you were saying it in a way that the Kings would lose, not win by freaking 30. 150, man, putting up a 150 spot. I'm going to show you guys my DraftKings lineup because I truly, and it's, yeah, it was so tilting. I really was upset last night. And here's why. I was set up so nicely that I was like, wow, I'm going to win a ton of money tonight. And I can just sit back as I get into that NyQuil haze, just call it a night, just like slip into coma, knowing that the points are rolling in. And then the fucking Kings win by 50. And like Fox doesn't play the fourth quarter. KD barely plays, right? So I'm gonna share screen. I want you to look at this lineup. I played Jose Alvarado. Look at this ownership percentage. Under 1, bro. Under 1 for a salary cap of 30. I mean, a salary hit for 3,600. He put up almost 10x, put up 27 points. Then we go to Malik Beasley, only 4,200. He's like, hey, bang, 22 points. Dylan Brooks, whatever. 10% ownership. He gets me 25 points at 6K. Larry Nance Jr., 12% ownership's 35. These are the 4 guys I played in the early game. Look at that ownership, right? Combined ownership of like 40. My guys were crushing. And then De'Aaron Fox, 25%, 36 points. KD, freaking 23%, 42 points. Like, just look at these goddamn snowflakes. The Bassey thing, whatever. He was cheap. I don't really care. And then Jeremy Grant, absolutely cooked. So, like, we barely squeaked into the money with this one at 247. They should have, like, even if let's be conservative here. If De'Aaron Fox and KD play the fourth quarter, right? Yeah, I'm getting 20 combined fantasy points, like at least, like minimum 20. So 20 takes me from 247 all the way up to, excuse me, to 67, 27, 26, 27th place, 28th place, something like that. From where did I finish again? From 107th. It was absolutely tilting. It was I forgot to change the shout out Watch Work if you missed that show last night at 7:30. Had some fun guests. Good stuff, Kev. Absolutely tilting though. Absolutely. I haven't been that mad. I haven't been that mad at fantasy in a while. It was absolutely tilting. And it's one of those things, right, where if this happened in the first game, I wouldn't have cared so much. I'd have been like, oh, man, who would have guessed the blowout? But it's because we thought we were cooking. Did you hear that? All right. So I wanted to look at some So Rare stuff, too, to make myself feel better. But before we go to So Rare, let's do, I wanted to pull up John Jackson's Twitter thread. I thought he had a good Twitter thread. He's been doing this every Tuesday, like the good, the bad, the ugly of NBA bottom shot. And I thought he had a good thread. I thought people were like missing the point a little bit a couple of times, but that's how Top Shot Twitter works. You're either a stan or you're a villain. Or in Stan's case, you are a stan and a villain. The comedy writes itself. Doc says he's so uninterested in what the Kings are legit fun right now. They got a bunch of weird dudes just like running around. Like you forget, Malik Monk, what? They got a bunch of weird dudes. To Stan's point, Jaylen Brown is going in on the Joe Tsai stuff. It is kind of entertaining. I will say it really pissed me off at first, and now I'm kind of into it. just like let's burn it all down. Let's just fucking bring back the CBA or something. No, what was it called? The CBA? ABA. Let's bring back the ABA. I don't know. Anyways, let's all right, let's go look at this thread. Let me boost it up. Where is it? All right, so it's Tuesday, which it means show me the data day for NBA Top Shot. Here are all the metrics from this past week. I've got them broken down in multiple categories, like always. All right, I'll drop this thread into the chat so if people want to actually dive into some of this nerdy shit. But I figured it'd be better to just kind of hit the what's it, the TLDR, right? So the good, he says 14,000 moments were removed by collectors based on flash challenge requirements. There you go. So I know there was something we talked a little bit about yesterday, how people weren't like thrilled with some of the Jokic stuff, which I think is fair, but there we go. 14,000 moments. Sales are up and revenue is up. Thank you, the hot packs. Top 10 buyers outpace top 10 sellers in sales. That's good. Percentage of rares and legendary sales on the rise. Thanks, cheat code. And then total sellers are down. So there you go. That's some good stuff. That's some good stuff so far. Let's move on to more good. We have two different tweets that are good, which, hey, that is a W in NBA bottom shot. 2.5 million moments removed from packs and burns. This does not factor into circulation numbers. So that's something to remind yourselves, okay? It does not factor into circulation numbers. They double the moments that's sent to the locker room this week. They double the moments locked by collectors this week. And so I think that can be the locking of collectors, right? That has a little bit to do with all the lock challenges that we're seeing. So that's good as well. And then the common weighted average sales on the rise. Let's get into the bad. So there we go. The first pack drop equals more than 4 times the supply that has been burned. So that, that net neutral stuff, it feels like a confused net neutral, if you will. So just a reminder, first pack drop equals more than 4 times the supply that's been burned. The top 10 buyer volume is way down, but for those of you that hate whales, you're probably fine with that. The average of 57,000 moments being added to circulation per week with packs, reserve packs, burning rewards. So 57,000 moments being added per week. All right, per week. Yikesies. And then the weighted average sale of legendary comes back down even with the high volume. So a lot of people are buying legendaries. That might have to do more with how low they're getting. Yeah, Boston based said staying positive here, but net neutral ain't happening. Yes, that is what I'm seeing so far. Again, the ugly, pretty big increases in percentage of moments near the floor at all 3 tiers this week. So meaning that more moments are moving back towards the floor. So common moments are moving back towards the common floor, rares towards the rare floor, legendaries towards the legendary floor. Then we've got 93% of commons are $4 or less. 43% of rares are $50 or less. 30% of legendaries are $600 or less. And then the first pack drop of S4, we had less unique buyers. And then the first drop and most challenges equals less transactions. So that's, I think that is what is kind of alarming, right? Less unique buyers and less transactions, even though we had a pack drop of the first one of Series 4, which theoretically there should be hype on, and then the first set of challenges around the drop, and there's less transactions. So that, I think, is a little bit alarming. And then last but not least, John Boy's assessment, aka Make Me Buy Again. Number of buyers, users up and stable. That hasn't happened yet. The average buyer dollar is up, though. That's good. Rare weighted average is stable a little bit. Rare legendary moving away from the floor is not happening. And then rare to common volume. It says ideally want to see 2 to 3 months straight of 5, meaning market is at least stable. So there you go. That was John's stuff. George St. Ledger says, hey, bought some packs when this game first came out years ago or whenever and never opened them. Can you sell packs or now or still not a feature? George, still not a feature. George, did you come over here for So Rare stuff? Is that how you found us? Because I remember seeing your PFP recently. Yeah, and I saw your next question where you said, is it worth holding, you still think? Well, listen, if you are waiting to, I think at this point, man, because of how the market is right now, it is probably not worth opening them now. Like if you've waited this long, you might as well wait a little bit longer. And then hopefully sometime in 2098, you'll be able to sell them on the marketplace. John Michael Heisberg says, you know who'd be interested to hear from? The Top Shot economists. Yeah, you know what, Mike? This is the only thing I'd push back on. I agree. Like, it would be nice to hear some stuff from them. The one thing I will say though, like my guess is that that wasn't one of the requirements when this person was hired. They probably thought they were going to be behind the scenes. We know that this person doesn't love being out in front of people. So like whatever. I'll give them the pass on that. But you know what? We haven't really heard from anybody on Top Shot outside of their spaces on Friday where they talk about the upcoming basketball games, right? Unless I'm missing that. I don't know. Something to think about. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Stan, that was my point right there. George, you said, yeah, so rare. Run an NBA podcast, and we've really gotten into that side of things, UK based. George, dude, send me. Are you in our Discord, George? I'm gonna send you a link to that only because, or DM me on Twitter at Mike Zakarian, either one. Would love to, I would love to check out your shit, and then maybe we'll get you on the show or something if you'd be into it. Would love to. Good to see some other people doing some so rare stuff. So yeah, shoot me a DM, man. But yeah, I think that the Top Shot stuff is quiet, but I think it's intentional. I think it's intentional. So whatever. I like that they're doing intentional stuff. That's a step in the right direction. But yeah, dude, same thing, man. I've said it before. I'll continue to say it, like, and kind of similar to John Boy's thing. I'm just gonna sit back and wait. I'm gonna sit back and wait. George, you can see it right there at Mike Zakarian. You can see it right there on the bottom left of your screen right now. But yeah, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna be out here and wait, and kind of like what John said, I'll wait to see those numbers go up. Mm. I forgot we had to do a giveaway from yesterday because I thought I was going to pass out. I had to get off stream. Ransom Reed donated a moment yesterday. So like the stream, subscribe, put hashtag Ransom Reed. Go ahead and do that for a shot at, let's see what it is again. I think it was like a Trae Young fandom or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, Trae Young fandom right there. Right there. This bad boy. This bad boy. So go ahead and do it. And we'll give this away in just a wee bit. So like the stream. Like the stream. Hashtag Ransom Raid. Terrible impressions there. Oh no. Didn't mean to share that. You were having a conversation. George, thank you for the follow. Yeah, dude, let's connect. See if we can get you on here and plug your shit. While you guys do that, I am going to go over to So Rare because so for as angry as I was on DraftKings last night, I do have some fun So Rare sweats. And just a reminder, dude, get your daily drops if you haven't done that yet. But so here's my limited two. My limited two is doing okay, not great. So I still have one game from Isaiah Livers, which, Beef Stew just got ruled out for a couple weeks. Cade's going to miss a couple of games. Maybe he gets like up to 25 minutes, or we're getting a blowout situation. Man has one game left. He got to 24. I'm fine with that cap. And then Keldon Johnson and Jalen Green with one more game. I'd love to get Keldon Johnson in the 45 range and maybe Jalen Green into the 50 range. But right now, we're at a limited 2 at 388 with 7,700 left. There's still, plenty of games left. And, when we look at the, actually, let's look at the schedule because we have 2 days of games. The Nuggets thing is weird, though. I bet a lot of people were firing some Nuggets out there and now are not going to get that matchup that they wanted because, Jokic, Bones Highland. There's a couple other people too that are all going to miss the game. But like we had a big slate tonight of Indiana, Charlotte, Minnesota, Orlando, OKC, Washington, Boston, Atlanta, Miami, Toronto, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Chicago, New Orleans, Houston, Dallas, New York, Denver, and Golden State, Phoenix. So a lot of games left. Knicks on a back-to-back. This is going to be an ugly game. Denver, New York. Jamal Murray, lock and load. And then the last day of the slate, we've got of this game week 8. We only have 3 games, and it's Brooklyn, Portland, San Antonio, Sac, and Detroit, LA. So there's still a lot of room left to go in some of these. Ooh, Veronica says I'm right ahead of you in limited contender. Hell yeah. I'm so pissed the Lakers don't have a game this week. Only have 3 rares and Reeves is one of them. Other 2 are McDaniels and Jericho. Oh yeah, Jericho Sims just absolutely smashed last night. I know, Patrick, you had to go buy one, bro. 359. Hell yeah, Veronica. But if I go back over here, the real sweat that I have right now is actually in the rare contender. Also, this limited champion one is a little bit tilting. If I look at my team here, so Ja put up a 60. I got 40 from KPJ. Gabe with 20 is fine. And still knowing, hopefully Zion plays in this next game. I don't think it's going to do great, but I feel like it could compete a little bit. And then last but not least, this is the one that I'm really excited about. So I must have lost some points overnight because I was 23rd. Right now I'm 29th in the rare contender. And I still like Draymond Green had such a bad game in that first game. So hopefully we can get him up. I got that Jordan Poole 68, the Jeremy Grant 48, And then Cam Thomas in that blowout last night ended up getting to 20. So maybe we can get him up a little bit higher. But 23rd, 28th, or 29th, what did I say? 29th in the rare. So projected to get a rare tier 2 right now. And then this one limited tier 2 with some room to run. So I don't know. Boston Base said sold most of my limited to focus on rares. Yeah, it's been fun like seeing how people are approaching so rare. Where like initially I was just scooping a bunch of limiteds, but now I'm kind of I actually might be done scooping for a little bit and just kind of see how things play out. Unless it's those cheap value guys. I'm trying not to drop any big dollars right now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's so reminder of so rare stuff. I'm gonna try to get something out before I head to Massachusetts today. But if not, make sure you check out Top Shot Talk's channel. He'll have like a value or not value, but he'll do like a full show and some stuff. And then on Friday, we'll do a live before lock show. We'll do a live before lock show on Friday at 5:30 where we break down everything. And I just saw J7 saying I should join you. J7, there's a link in the show notes, but I'm going to drop one in the chat right now. All right, right now. Just sign up. And if you sign up, you get 20 free comic cards. You can play for free. You don't have to actually spend any money right now. So you can just play for free and follow along. So go ahead and do that. I assume you're passing on the all day packs. Yeah. So we've got the mid-season packs that are coming on Friday. I don't know. Price point seems a little wonky, but same thing, man. I'm not diving back in yet. Maybe like once the season ends, I'll start messing around. I think if there were, I don't know. In those rare contests, do you think it's better to play mid to low level rares and better limited? It'll honestly, Patrick, that's a good question. So looking at this, right, I think it all depends. I've been focusing on the rare contender because I can't really hang. And to me, I think like unless you have a smash value play, right, unless you have someone who I'm trying to think of what a good example would have been. Banton, right? Like if you had Banton and you knew he was going to start for the Raptors, that allows you to like pay up at some other spots. But I kind of like this approach right here where I was able to play like a bunch of mid-level guys that also have ceilings, right? Jeremy Grant, although Jeremy Grant now is playing like a consistent 45-point guy. He's like, I think you think of Jeremy Grant as a 30-point guy. You think of Poole as like a 30-point guy who could get 60 if somebody sits. Draymond Green, you think of it like I like having like a high floor with still access to a high ceiling. So that's kind of how I've been approaching it. And I get what you're saying too. Like the Jordan Poole, I get such a higher boost, right? Because I played the rare instead of the limited. But I mean, I guess it just like depends on how it depends. Yeah, it depends on what cards you have, man. It really does. It really does. And you know what's fun? Like, man, I'm sure there are people who have been playing in the football world or in the baseball world. I'm sure they have better opinions than I do on this too, because they have a better feel for it and been doing it a while. And it's just been fun seeing how like strategy has evolved just in playing it for like 7 or 8 weeks now, you know? Is this a Dapper thing? Otherwise, I'd have to set up one of those wallets that I have no education on. It's not a Dapper thing, but it's super easy to set it up. Like it is pretty easy. That's a good question, George. I think under maybe like 5 or 6, probably 6 because I did get that job for 150. So probably in that range, maybe a little bit higher. But I'm never gonna check, George. I'm never gonna check. The key right now is the entries versus the prize pool. Yeah, that's fair. Expecting a tiered playbook and sets to matter more in all day, according to what the economist said. Yeah, I think we're gonna get. I think we'll get the playbook back in a couple weeks, and maybe they'll finish the season strong, and it'll be fun. Roy says, shout out Gnome, who isn't on stream, but sits second on the limited contender. Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Shout out Gnome. Gnome is coming on the show on Friday. So when we do the live before lock, Gnome is going to be the guest on Friday. You should be following Gnome on Twitter. Actually, I'll drop a link to Gnome's Twitter right now. He's a great follow. He's got some good basketball takes. He's been hanging around the Team Hold streets for a while now. And look, he's at 674 followers. We should get him over 1K. But he's been posting some YouTube content and throwing it on Twitter as well for so rare stuff. He's pretty sharp. So excited to do that. Let's take a look at the standings. Also, if you guys have questions about some shit, throw that in there. This is going to be probably more of an abbreviated episode today just because I got stuff to do. I wanted to, but we do this every day. So let's look at the standings again, so we can give Rip City some love here as they are in first. Also, we get so the Celtics still. Most of the games felt like Western Conference energy yesterday, so nothing's changed between the Celtics, the Bucks, the Hawks, the Cavs, the Wiz, the Raps. The Knicks move up to 500, so they're 7-7. Yeah, and then the Nets lost to 6-9. Nice. And then on the Western Conference, there you go. Your Blazers, Rip City, 10-4, all alone in first. Then you get Denver. The Jazz dropped to third at 10-6. I think they were actually already at third. Then you get the Suns and the Mavs at 8-5. Grizzlies 9-6. Pels 8-6. Kangs above 500. When's the last time the Kangs were above 500? With like more than 10 games into the season, besides like winning their opener. The Clips are 8-7. So there you go. We've got like 9 teams above 500 now. The Wolves 6-8, Warriors 6-8, Thunder 6-8, Spurs 6-9. Nice. Lakers 3-10, and then 2-12. So there you go. There you go. Blaze with the take says, I can see playbook coming back with game tickets as prizes instead of merch in the next couple of weeks. That would be interesting, man. I'd be curious about that. I feel like they've been very hesitant, and I don't just mean all day. Top Shot as well, with matching up with like IRL stuff that isn't massive, right? One of the feedback that they said they've got, I forget who told me this, but it's not confidential, so it's fine. But somebody at Top Shot told me that all of the survey, I think it was Jacob actually, all of the survey results they got when they were like, what would you like to get back from, like, whether it's challenges or rewards and stuff like that? Is it IRL stuff or like virtual stuff? And it was like overwhelmingly virtual. So I think that's why they lean into the other stuff. I hope that's right, Blaze. Like, even though that's kind of limits like what you can do, I hope so. I hope that is something. Most good limited lineups you can get for sub $100. Yeah, I think so too. That's what you're saying. Like anywhere between 100 and 200, you can make a really solid lineup. When you start getting into the MVP stuff, it's a little bit trickier when you're playing the champions. Like that jaw again. That's where I spent most of it. Look at Bandy, just like bored as hell with this show. What's up, dude? Look at this guy, huh? He's about to be pissed off because we're going for a car ride today. Look at him. What a good dog. And now he sees that mom's up. He's like, let me get the hell out of here. No. No, yeah, we were talking about you, man. We're talking about you. I don't know. What else you guys have for me? Anything else? I think Shot Tank, I can't remember if Shot Tank's happening this week, honestly. So I'm not going to be a part of it this week. But if it's happening, you should check it out. Again, no content tomorrow. There'll be no shows, and then Friday we'll be back. Boston Bay says ticket prices range like crazy around the league. Does that affect giveaways? Yeah, I guess it does for like certain teams, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like if the difference is like $100, they can probably swing it. But I'll be curious. Yeah, I'm curious to see how they start approaching the IRL stuff. That's something that Dustin's been banging the drum about for a long time. Is Super Draft dead? You mean like for the Top Shot contest? It does seem like there wasn't enough interest, which is such a bummer, man. I think the Super Draft thing was going to be pretty spicy, but there wasn't enough Top Shot people that wanted to do it. Yeah, Shiggin says, if you don't live in an NBA city, then what do you do? I think there's a way to do it. Like, so if you can't, like you have the option, right? You're like, hey, you won tickets. And they're like, oh, yeah, but I actually live in Peru. I'm not going to make it to a Tuesday night Atlanta Hawks Memphis Grizzlies game. Well, they're like, well, here's $85 in Dapper. That would have been the cost of the tickets. Or here's $85 you can spend on the NBA store. You know what I'm saying? I think there's ways to do it. I'm sure it makes it more complicated for them, though, and that's probably why they haven't done it. But I think there's ways to still, figure out how to do it. Some of those have no I'm saying you should have consolation prizes. I'm saying you should. Back to Stan's question about Super Draft, though. I still think they're doing the free contest once a week, right? Oh, yeah, Paul, I'm saying they should. I'm saying they should, though, bro. I'm saying they should. Part of the issue is curating an experience for users. Part of what made Vegas fun was the live show. Thank you, Weiss. We do need another live show. There's I don't know what it's going to look like. There's talks of Team Hold trying to go to the All-Star game and maybe doing a live show at the All-Star game. There's talks of Team Hold attending one of the tour events and trying to do a live show at the tour event. We will do another live show this year. We'll obviously do Vegas again this summer for Summer League, but we're going to try to find a live show in there too. It would be easier if I lived on the West Coast or those guys lived on the East Coast. I think it'd be easier to like coordinate some of this, but hard to do a live show when you're running the thing solo. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. Last call. Let's get these likes in here. Like, subscribe, hashtag ransom read into the chit chat. I just want to go for a free haircut. That will be sick. Veronica, you'll be at the Miami tour event? Ooh. Veronica, we should talk. I could use your help potentially. For a fee, of course. But I think I think that's the one we're going to try to make happen. All right, here we go. Last call for this. Again, if you guys I'm going to spin this giveaway here in a second. If you have more questions or more shit you want to hit before we get out of here, otherwise this will be a quick one. Because your boys got stuff to do today. We got stuff to do today. All right, here we go. We're going to spin it. Winner, chicken dinner. This is for that Trae Young fandom moment. Shout out our boy Ransom Reed, who donated this yesterday, but I thought I was going to pass out, so I didn't give it away, and I moved on. It's going to Joseph W. Man, Joseph W., I feel like you've rigged the game, man. He's been crushing the giveaways. Joseph W.'s been on a heater. Congrats, Joseph W. Big W for Joseph W. I'll send that to you later this afternoon. I already have your Discord info. I mean, your Top Shot handle and stuff. So we're already good for that. All right, guys, listen, sign up for So Rare if you haven't done that yet. Stan's going to be there too. We're going to get a Stan IRL sighting. Let's go, Stan. Let's go. Join the Discord if you haven't done that. You can find all of our links in the show notes. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on Friday. As always, thank you for being here. Everybody stay safe out there in those Top Shot streets. We out.